Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Because of the working language I chose is English, so maybe you can use the simultaneous interpretation devices by your side.
Distinguished guests, it's an honor to be here this morning. As has been introduced, my name is Liam Jia. I'm the Operations Director of EU SME Centre. First of all, a little bit of introduction about who we are. The EU SME Centre, we are a project founded by the European Commission already in 2010. So this is our 11th year in China. What we do is to provide hands-on support and information for European small and medium-sized enterprises on their market access to China. A little bit of about our services. We have a knowledge center. We have provided over 200 publications on exporting sectors concerning European SMEs to China. We have an advice center where we provide free consulting services for European small and medium-sized enterprises. We also have a training center. We provide trainings both online and offline. For companies, we also have a SME advocacy platform where we constantly voice on behalf of European small and medium-sized enterprises on the business environment in China. To give you an example of some of the information we have produced, especially in the environment and water sector, in 2020, together with China-Europe Water Platform, we have produced a markets report on industrial water management in 2 of the provinces in China. In terms of how do we provide support for European companies, especially through our cooperation with China-Europe Water Platform, we provide market overview, we present up-to-date policies, we have advice on market access barriers and limitations. We also introduce the key stakeholders, including the government oversight and local design institutes to companies. And we also eventually match the solution holders with the challenge owners. First of all, an overview to our point of view on the China market for water technologies. We have come up with these observations that China is catching up quickly but strong. Driving factors, for example, unprecedented urbanization may still erode this progress. Scarcity of natural water resources, fast-growing urbanization and industrialization, severe water pollution, as well as cheap water prices and the adverse impacts of climate change on water resources may still lead to water crisis in China. Of particular importance is that investments of today risk to be based on solutions and challenges of yesterday and not being viable during their full lifespan. So the capacity and competence of the procurers may still prove highly inadequate. Yesterday in Beijing, the European Union Chamber of Commerce has launched this year's business confidence survey. We also have made a quick wrap-up of the executive summary, which can be concluded also in these following points. We all know that 2020 was a year that European businesses as well as Chinese companies have been heavily influenced by COVID. And contrary to those expectations, European companies in China have found themselves in a resurgent market after production went back online far quicker than had been initially anticipated. Although year-on-year revenue shifts were the worst in a decade time, still 42% of respondents actually saw revenue increase in 2020, with the biggest surges in business to consumer, B2C industries like retail, like automotive. And this was largely also thanks to Chinese consumers who were unable to travel, but however eventually used more of their disposable income to purchase automotives, cosmetic products, as well as clothing instead. At the same time, a quarter of respondents saw also revenue decrease, with the worst hits in service industries like legal, aviation. Yet, despite a notable downward shift in year-on-year revenues, 3 out of 4 companies ended the year with positive earnings before interest and tax. Meanwhile, we also noticed that European companies are exploring new opportunities. The regional comprehensive economic partnership is expected to result in a reshuffling of some of the supply chains, with also from the same survey, 38% of respondents noting that either some suppliers or customers has relocated out of China. While also most expect no impact from the regional comprehensive economic partnerships or state level, that is too early to say. Last but not the least, China's commitment to be carbon neutral by 2060 is also an idea welcomed by many of the European companies, and European companies are already ahead of the curve, with 55% of the respondents from the survey expecting to reach carbon neutrality by 2030 or even earlier. Being the water sector in China, one of the key sectors towards carbon neutrality, the SME Centre, together with China-Europe Water Platform, we have also organized in this year, from March to May, 4 webinars that mainly cover topics including blue-green spawn cities, including the efficiency of water infrastructure, but also 2 of our focuses eventually were on digitalization in the water sector and carbon footprint of the water sector. Overall, we had over 300 participants from both European companies and Chinese. That covers also more than 20 European countries and also includes China. From these webinars that have been organized earlier this year, we have also come up with some findings that I here put on this slide on the screen. We observe an ongoing consolidation in the water sector. So smaller players are acquired or integrated into larger groups. Public-private partnerships, PPP, are set up to operate infrastructures. We also believe this is another illustration of the increasing regulatory pressure. This consolidation movement facilitates the administration of industry and increase as well accountability. So incidentally, the larger players are better financed and have the clout to invest in the technologies that would support the implementation of the operational models addressing these challenges. Some other observations and findings from all these webinars that we have organized this year, as also mentioned earlier by Mr. Eduardo, the ambassador of Portugal to China. Digitalization and circular economy are the future trends to our observation from the webinars of the water sector, especially in Europe and in China. And China and Europe are both aiming at developing new digitalization solutions to improve the efficiency of the urban water management. However, in different contexts. Overall, Chinese cities see increasing urbanization and construction of new urban areas. This is comparing to a stronger focus in Europe on retrofitting existing urban areas. Some of the other observations we had made includes that digitalization in the water sector has a big potential digital water technology is largely already available, and the water sector is already using it and benefiting from it. However, to get full benefits of digitalization, human interaction with technology is still very important, and the training is needed for those who work with and operate the technology. And digitalization has also entered all subsectors, includes water quality, includes water quality management, in water supply and wastewater systems, leak detection, flood management, and early warning, and so on. Something else on digitalization, that digitalization technology is fast developing also at all stages of wastewater management. Includes monitoring, includes metering systems of data collection systems, data management systems, and eventually also intelligent information systems. And as also mentioned earlier by our Danish expert, Mr. Bjorn Jensen, availability of sensors with a potential for real-time monitoring is also essential for fast management response, both in terms of flash flood, early warning and management, and in water quality and quality detection and management. Digital solutions eventually may also reduce the impact of the existence silos, or you call silos, among institutions involved in urban management, urban water management. This is sometimes, which is sometimes a barrier for efficient solutions. Of particular importance is the connection of the silos for water supply and wastewater treatment and integration among decision makers. Something on the circular economy, which has also been one of the focuses. Circular economy has become prominent in both European and Chinese policy making. Chinese and European perspectives on, however, on circular economy, they do share a common conceptual basis and exhibit many similar concerns in seeking to enhance resource efficiency. However, there's also differences that the Chinese perspective on circular economy is broader, incorporating pollution and other issues alongside waste and resource concerns. Is also framed as a response to the environmental challenges created by rapid growth and industrialization. In contrast, in Europe, the concept of circular economy has a narrower environmental scope, focusing more and narrowly on water and waste and resource and opportunities eventually created for businesses. In a nutshell, to draw some conclusions from all our findings and observations, we have eventually come up with these 3 points. That the challenges facing the water sector could, to a very large extent, be addressed if already existing solutions were fully utilized and implemented. Second point, although the need for technological innovation still exists, the main needs are for a systematic innovation regarding water management and market functioning. And the last point, that especially referring to the Chinese market, cheaper bulk solutions are still preferred due to lack of adequate financing models, economic frameworks, promoting a long-term sustainability model, as well as inadequate or the lack of a well-established regulatory framework. So these are the main takeaways of my presentation. And that's the end of my presentation. You are very welcome to contact us, especially if you are a European company. We are very happy to be in support with your businesses. And thank you very much. 谢谢。